All right, have not made a video in a couple days actually. As you guys know, they're still releasing because I have them scheduled out, but I've been kind of busy the last couple of days. I finally managed to secure a form of employment, so that is good. So hopefully I'll have time to keep making these videos. I'm gonna have to be a lot more tight with them, but I think it'll be fine. I'll keep making them as usual. And but yeah, that's not the point of this video. I have several videos that I'm gonna make. I don't know if I'm gonna make them all today, but I'm actually, one thing that I've started doing is writing down video ideas. Like I'll be like listening to a podcast or like a show, because that's what I do. Like a lot of the times when I'm with my free time, if I'm not going to the gym, I'm usually just sitting at home reading and or listening to podcasts. And so I started writing down video ideas. So hopefully the videos will start coming out a little bit more regularly for one, but also, well, I guess not regularly. I don't know what I'm talking about. More structurally, right? Because I tend to ramble a lot in these videos, but that's just kind of a thing of getting back into the YouTube swing, you know? And I'm kind of rambling right now as well. By the way, if you guys are new to this channel, please consider subscribing, liking the videos, commenting down below. I like to see the channel grow, so. But anyway, we'll get to the topic here. I made a video about, you'll have probably watched it about 2 weeks ago, because this video will be scheduled out into like early June. You'll be watching, but the video was basically titled Things Are Happening But Nothing Ever Happens, right? And it was a very downer video, which I don't really care. Like I've explained in the past, I am more black-pilled these days. Like that's my perspective. I'm not black-pilled for the long term, but I am very black-pilled for the short term. And that's kind of my stance. Like there is no amount of coping and avoiding the current situations in society that are going to get us out of the necessary suffering that's coming. So, but once we get through that, you know, that's when the golden age, as Trump talks about, that's when the golden age will really happen. It won't be Trump imposed either. It'll be basically the country will go into some form of like Great Depression again, and we'll kind of like wipe out a lot of the debt. I don't know how it's going to exactly happen. You know, there might be a civil war. These things are all on the table, but something will happen, because you know this is just how it. This is one of the reasons why I believe in God, is that, you know, reality, you know, truth eventually wins out, and no amount of lies can hold that back for long. So that's kind of the theme of this video. Is I was talking about how nothing ever happens, but since I made that video, and you know, things were still happening before I made that video as well, but specifically since I made that video, a lot of things have happened. And so I was thinking, you know, I made a video about how nothing ever happens, which I still agree. Like when it comes to politics and the kayfabe and the media and Hollywood, all of that is an illusion, right? That's what I wanted to get across in that video. All of that is an illusion, and it is meant to make nothing ever happen. Like what do you think a neocon is, right? A neocon, if you guys don't know what that is, like a George W. Bush, or like nowadays like a Ben Shapiro. Those people literally get paid to make sure that the needle stays where they want it to stay. It's basically, you're getting paid to make sure nothing ever happens. But the white pill of this video, and why I'm making this video, you could say white pill quite literally with what happened with Trump and the president of South Africa the other day, is that sorry, rolling the windows up. Oh, those are down. Is that basically no matter what they do to try to avoid things happening, things are still going to happen, right? Like there's this concept going around on the internet right now called black fatigue. You know, I've been reticent to make a video about it because of YouTube. Like I have a lot to say on the race issue, but I kind of steer away from it because I don't want my channel to get nuked from orbit on YouTube. In fact, I did make a video, if you guys want to check it out, I put it on Odyssey and BitChute, about the Shiloh Hendrix thing, but I made it a Odyssey BitChute exclusive. It did not come out on YouTube. So if you guys really care about that issue, you can go check that out. But I made the video several weeks ago, and I don't really care about advertising Odyssey and BitChute at this point. So I'm not going to like shout that out in a lot of my videos, because I really do want to focus on YouTube right now. But if you guys are subscribed over there, then you'll, when I upload a video, you'll see it. I upload a lot of the same videos over there that I do here, but some of them, you know, if they're too spicy and I really want to make the video anyway, then I'll do that and then I'll put it over there. But yeah, the concept of black fatigue it's a very promising thing, because, you know, this age of white guilt is ending, which is very good overall, because, you know, black people are not oppressed, whether they would have you believe that or not, right? All of this stuff is just media lies. I've talked about how Obama, in the past, Obama is the one that created all this crap again, right? He brought racism back to the forefront. You know, made all the woke stuff really was boiling up from the civil rights, but, you know, Obama was like he was the lighter, right? He lit the powder keg, and it's just been curtains ever since as far as the narrative goes. But like in this video, I'm saying that's not a bad thing. So like the things that are happening is that the narrative is crumbling. So all that propaganda that I was talking to you about, like you know, why Trump disappoints me ultimately is because in many ways Trump is trying to keep a lot of it under wraps, but he is, again, he's doing things where it's kind of what inspired this video. The South African thing it's May 22nd making this video, and that happened yesterday on the 21st. So it's things like that. When Trump does things like that, it's like, okay. It's what, like that line from Dumb and Dumber. Just when I think you can't get any dumber, you go and do something like this and totally redeem yourself, right? That's how I feel about Trump. I'll get mad at him. He'll disappoint me. It'll start to piss me off more and more, and then he does something like this, completely redeems himself going forward. Or at least in my case, what I call it, he buys himself some wiggle room. So it's like, okay, I can tolerate a little bit more of your BS now. I can tolerate your truth socials talking about how we live in the greatest economy ever, and he does it too. He does the kayfabe too. He does his own form of propaganda, but ultimately he's got in some places it's just the same, but he does have a decent admin now. Like Elon Musk really cares about the South African issue, which is good. And Elon, I guess he stepped down from Doge, but I don't blame him. This is something Trump did that's stupid, right? All of the stuff that Doge exposed, the Doge department, the Republican Congress is not going to do anything with it. So right there's an example of nothing ever changes. Like Elon Musk spent, we're in May now. He spent 4 months uncovering all of this fraud. And the Republicans are like, no, we're not going to get rid of that. And not only are we not going to get rid of that, we're going to sign the big, beautiful bill, and we're going to add $5 trillion to the debt over the next 10 years. That is what we're actually going to do. So, I heard a concept, by the way, of abusing your audience or something. I guess if you're really bad at impersonations, it's considered like abusing your audience. You guys have to let me know down below if my impressions are very good, because I don't know. I've been told they're good, but at the same time, those people could have just been kissing my ass. You know, it is what it is. So yeah. Anyway, we're about 8 minutes in, and you know, I'll just kind of get into. So we've got the South Africa thing, because now I'm not driving now. I'm actually, I ordered some food, so I'm just waiting for that after the gym. So I'll kind of get into it now that I've got the full focus here. Is that, you know, we've got the South African thing. But again, the things that are really happening, if you guys want to notice what's happening, is you need to look at what's actually happening in the world, right? And this is something I struggle with. I'm not criticizing people that fall into this trap, but when you're terminally online, when you're watching the news, when you're reading articles, right? Like because that's what Google does now, Bing, they feed you the slop. They feed you like Psychology Today and MSNBC and Fox News, and you can read Vice. You can read these articles every single day, and they can literally drive you insane. And so that's kind of what the point of the video is and I've hit on this theme in the past. In fact, the video that got me starting making videos again was called The Age of Slop. On the title, on the thumbnail, it had Trump. I used AI. It had Trump in an Eagles jersey. I thought that was funny. But the slop pretty much just comes from this media infrastructure that we're all paying attention to at all times. Or you're watching this video right now. You can. I try not to be slop, but you guys can consider my face talking in a box on your phone slop, because that's kind of where, since we lack the community of older generations, we kind of get all around. But like right now, right, I'm waiting for food. There's hundreds of cars passing in front of me, right? Like the sun's out, various people are coming and going, right? Like life is moving on. And so that's kind of the point of this video, is like things are happening in the real world, but the internet makes you feel like it's not happening. That's kind of the takeaway, is that if you can kind of like watch stuff like this, but then also be able to kind of divorce yourself from it as well, that kind of is the key to life, I guess you could say, like as cliche as that sounds. But life is still cope. I made a video about hope and cope, and that's part of life too. You just got to cope. In fact, I think that's something millennials, my generation and younger, are really going to have to deal with, is that basically everything the boomers told us is going to not happen. So like, you're not going to be able to rely on Social Security. You're not going to have the McMansion. You're not going to have 2.5 cars. You're most men probably not even going to have a wife, if we're being honest. You're not going to have a wife. You might have children if you are like more of a MGTOW guy and you just go out and have sex. You might have some like bastard children, but that's really the most that we can hope for. But again, what is happening, because I have a Christian perspective, is I'm seeing a big resurgence of the church. So that also can happen, actually. And I've said in the past, like if we can get the women back on board, if we can like re-propagandize them, because that's how women respond. Women respond to, they feel it first and then they act. Men are like that too, but women are a lot more emotional, so they feel it first. So what the right wing needs to do is they need to start making the truth feel good again. And that is the big white pill for the future, is if you can get women to but again, it's such a tall task. It's going to probably take decades to achieve that. And that's assuming we don't get another like Democrat in office, which again, it's the criticism of Trump, like why I don't think he's ultimately serious enough, because he's not going the Julius Caesar route. We'll just put it that way. He's not crossing the Rubicon to keep it YouTube friendly. Not Fed posting YouTube. Don't ban the channel. But yeah, that's kind of, I hope I've made sense. I'm trying to like say things, and I've said in the past, like I'm considering you a very smart audience, so you know what I'm getting at, but trying to say things without outright saying some things because of YouTube. I still don't know the censorship landscape. Another one is like the anti-Semitism thing, right? Like these things are all working themselves out in real time. You're actually seeing Israel crumble in real time as a nation. It doesn't mean they're going to be gone as a nation. It just means that like the age of like infinite expansion of Israel is kind of ending, just out of necessity, right? Whether Trump and his admin wants this to continue or not, it's just not going to be able to continue. The reality of the U.S. debt crisis is now coming to the forefront, right? All the boomers' assumptions that I made in the Joe Biden video, very long video, if you guys want to go check that one out. All the boomer assumptions of like green line go up, infinite growth, like none of that's happening because of feminism, ultimately. Feminism, low birth rates, pornography, all of this has contributed, right? Our diets, just all of this has contributed to, it's not going to work out the way they thought. They thought they could create the Soviet man, but it's not going to happen. And that's a good thing. That's what I mean. That's a good happening. It's going to be short-term suffering for long-term gain. And especially if you guys are lucky enough to have children right now, right? Think of it that way. if you have young children, we're talking like really young, like up to 5 years old, those kids will be adults in like the year like 2040, and it's very possible that a lot of this could be turned around by then. So you can think of it that way, right? I suffer now as an adult so that my children don't suffer in the future. This was common knowledge for past generations. I mean, it's just so weird that we have to wake up from this. You know, it's all the weirdest thing to me is that the boomers quite literally never will have to wake up from this. I always think of how weird that is, because they're gonna be dead. Most of them are gonna be dead by the time. The only way they'll wake up for this is if they don't get Social Security, which is possible, but you're probably gonna see like riots in the streets if that happens. But that is something that I think about a lot, is that like the boomers were such an anomaly of a generation that they're just not gonna experience the hard times at all, right? The quote, good men create good times, bad men create hard times create good men, right? It's like it's a cyclical thing. But yeah, I'm gonna keep this one a little bit more brief, but that's kind of the message for today, is that, and I've got some others in the pipeline about, I have a video idea for what the MAGA party, like what not party but ideology, like the idea of Make America Great Again, like what it actually represents. And again, this is going to be more of a like what it represents in reality, not what even MAGA and Trump says it means, right? Like what it really means is what I want to make the video about. But yeah, the South Africa thing is a big development. I think that the black fatigue is real. The age of white guilt is ending rapidly, like way more rapidly than I thought. The stranglehold of our greatest allies, right, is kind of ending. Like, we're still an occupied government, but you know, it's all in motion now. That's the point of this video, is that, you know, Hollywood is crumbling. I talked about that in the Nothing Ever Happens video, is that Trump was trying to save Hollywood, but that's not going to work. Hollywood's going to keep crumbling. I'm now seeing the gaming industry is crumbling a lot, right? Like Doom, the Dark Ages came out and it was a complete flop. So like all these things that the status quo is changing, guys. It's frightening, but it's exciting at the same time. And yeah, like I said, I secured employment, luckily, so I'm going to kind of ride that out as long as possible. But even something like that, I don't think is going to stay. I don't think the typical 9-to-5 reality is going to exist in the future, right? I don't think there's certainly no careers anymore. I've already divorced myself from that thinking, but like even just having a consistent 9-to-5 job might not be a reality. You might have to find ways in the meantime to like secure income. And I've talked in the past, I think what it's ultimately going to come down to, and it's why the Christian spirit is reviving so heavily, is that ultimately we're going to have to live in some form of distributism, which would be, you know, tight-knit communities, trust communities, high trust communities, right? Very discriminatory as well, like not only letting in people they trust kind of thing, and then we all kind of take care of each other. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I started the YouTube channel again, is because I want to hopefully attract some of those people into my audience, build my own little community here, and we can, you know, go from there. Is like just kind of talking in the chats, right? Once I get an audience, I can kind of live stream, get people in the chat, commenting, build my own little sort of community here. So, and then, yeah, I'll plug it in. By the way, if you guys are new, you know, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. But yeah, that's kind of the video. We got to 20 minutes. I think that's a good enough time frame, but I hope this has come through to you, that it's not completely hopeless. I mean, it's okay to be black-pilled. To me, black-pilled, you should just call it reality-pilled. But reality-pilled also goes the opposite way, where, you know, bad things happen, but good things also happen. So you can take it with a balance. And so anyway, guys, that is the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you've made it all the way through, I appreciate it. And with all that said, I will talk to you later.